ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Oil prices are rising again this morning amid new attacks in the Middle East. Brent crude is approaching $87 a barrel, and a Dutch company has just said that one of its cargo ships was struck off the coast of Oman. This comes as President Trump says the U.S. is going to safeguard ships in the Strait of Hormuz and charge a 20% fee. Javed Ali is a former senior director of counterterrorism on the National Security Council.
One would have to believe that in order to be, quote unquote, the guardian of the Strait, that U.S. warships would actually have to enter into the Strait, into the Persian Gulf, to protect the hundreds, if not more, ships that are already in there, and then obviously the ones on the outside.
New York's governor is poised to sign a one-year moratorium today on big new data centers in the state. That would be the first of its kind in the nation. Meanwhile, Louisiana gave Meta the green light to more than double the size of one of its data centers. This is ABC News. A friend of 18-year-old Nolan Wells is speaking to ABC News about the teen's death on the 4th of July near an isolated barrier island off Mississippi. It's drawn national attention. ABC's Aaron Katersky has more.
Tristan Shepard says he and his friends are now getting threats. Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met. Wells did not have his phone, but his friend tells us that's not unusual while swimming.
When Nolan got in the water, he put his phone on the dash, also with probably other 15 phones.
His parents say Nolan Wells went nowhere without his phone, but on July 4th, he left it behind in the boat.
Florida is preparing to execute a 74-year-old convicted murderer. Dennis Sochor has been on death row since the 1980s and will be the oldest person ever put to death in the state. Later this month, Florida is set to execute an 80-year-old prisoner. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
It is 6:02, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we have sunshine, 69 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Brian Feldman. Our top story, St. Louis Mayor Cara Spencer has signed a bill allocating the $250 million RAM settlement funding to North City, downtown, and citywide infrastructure needs.
One of the criticisms of the bill funding North City was how susceptible previous city-led programs were to fraud, with the North City Business ARPA program being mentioned. Comptroller Donna Barringer says they will keep a close eye on all funds expensed with the RAM settlement money to make sure they actually go to those in need.
Our E&A secretary will maintain a public running total of the RAM settlement dollars that have been encumbered, giving residents a clear view of how these historic funds are being invested and ensuring taxpayers can follow these historic investments every step of the way.
Funds going towards the Water Division and North City are expected to be expensed quickly because their programs are up and running, while downtown will take longer, says Mayor Cara Spencer. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Michael Calhoun. A new state law signed by Governor Keogh could work hand in hand with the RAM settlement money and private dollars. The legislation resurrects a dormant economic stimulus program that hasn't been used in over a decade. It was used for Kansas City's Power and Light District in the past. Officials say bringing back the program is a crucial step for the proposed $600 million redevelopment of the old Millennium Hotel site. The new law also allows the St. Louis mayor to create a special state-certified innovation zone that then opens up fresh funding for business relocations, startup investments, and much-needed public safety improvements across the downtown corridor.
3 juveniles are in custody in Jefferson County after a 16-year-old girl was found shot Sunday. Her body had been abandoned since Friday. Sheriff Dave Marshak says the victim is Gabriana Boyster, who lived at the home near Hillsborough where she was found. No charges have been filed yet.
There could be charges filed today for the East St. Louis mass killing incident. We're told a 15-year-old girl, angry with her family, plotted with her 16-year-old boyfriend to kill them. In total, 7 people shot. 5 of those died.
The girl, according to the Post-Dispatch, ran away last week with a gun stolen from her mother and was part of a group chat with her boyfriend and other teens talking about killing her family. The girl's father said his daughter was getting into trouble at school, so her mother decided to homeschool her, which made the girl angry.
Following public opposition, St. Charles County implementing a 6-month pause on new data center applications. The measure passed unanimously last night, allowing county leaders time to study the long-term impacts on the community. Resident Kara Elms testified in support of the temporary freeze.
After reading the bill for the moratorium on data centers, it is apparent that St. Charles County is taking the steps to be proactive before receiving applications for hyperscale data centers. This bill seems to focus on public health and welfare, which needs to be kept at the forefront of this effort.
In a separate unanimous vote, the council also approved changes to the Senior Property Tax Relief Program, getting rid of new annual paperwork for seniors.
The American Red Cross is in need of help with cleanup and, in some cases, just providing emotional support to residents of southeast Missouri devastated by the weekend's flooding.
Red Cross is on the ground there in Lesterville and communities in southeast Missouri.
Ann Vassman was in southeast Missouri Sunday and saw it firsthand.
Surveyed the area and met with a lot of the residents. It's definitely had a huge impact. So there's a lot of damage, there's a lot of devastation, but the one, positive, beautiful thing in all of that devastation is just seeing the community come together and truly step up to help each other.
The public can help by making a financial donation to the Red Cross or by volunteering your time. You will receive training. Go to redcross.org/volunteer. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Staff expects the campground at Johnson Shut-ins State Park to open by Wednesday. It's been closed since Black River floodwaters rushed through the grounds this past weekend. Most of the damage in the day-use area of the park, which surrounds the east fork of the river. No timeline for that part of the park or the shut-ins to reopen.
Cleanup underway at the Huzzah Valley Resort in Steelville after record floods ripped through there Friday. This is resort manager Corey Cottrell.
We're just going to get through it. Just give us a little time. Things are looking up for floating for the rest of the summer. This is July. We love this time of year to have you people down here, and we really appreciate your business.
Cottrell says the plan is for Huzzah Valley to reopen Thursday.
Former Congresswoman Cori Bush contrasting the federal aid St. Louis received from the 2022 flood to the 2025 tornado, all in an attempt to regain her seat from incumbent Wesley Bell. Bush says not only did St. Louis receive more funding, the response from FEMA was more efficient.
We work with those agencies to help stand up relief sites and resource centers very quickly. As a matter of fact, it was noted actually by St. Louis Public Radio that I got FEMA in town faster.
Bush adds under her time as Congresswoman, St. Louis received $110 million in disaster relief block grants, while the city continues to wait for this kind of funding from last year's tornado. In a statement to KMOX, a spokesperson for Bell says, quote, Cori Bush only looking out for Cori Bush. St. Louis has not received the relief it should because of one person, Donald Trump.
It is 6:08. We'll take a break and come back with another check of traffic and weather. Stay with us here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
In the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center, we say good morning to Frank Ladd. What are the roads looking like?
Good morning, Brian. Actually pretty smooth out there so far. MoDOT is reporting a stall northbound on Highway 270 blocking the right lane before Manchester Road. I'm not seeing any slowdown, so that's a good stretch there between 44 and Highway 64. Into downtown St. Louis, westbound Highway 70, we are delay-free at the Musial Bridge crossing, as well as the Poplar Street Bridge looks good as well. North County, no problems to report crossing the Chain of Rocks Bridge, westbound on Highway 270. Delay-free coming in from St. Charles County as well, eastbound on Highway 70, eastbound on Highway 64. Are making your way to St. Louis County. Our next traffic update at 6:10. Frank Ladd in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine today, quite warm and humid this afternoon, high 90. Clear, warm, sticky tonight, low 74. Sunshine mixes with clouds tomorrow, rather hot and humid, the high up to 92. Low 90s on Thursday with times of sun and clouds, but watch out for a thunderstorm in the afternoon. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we've got sunshine and 69 degrees. And Joe, it's a shame there's nothing for Cardinals fans to cheer about during the All-Star break.
Isn't that the truth? What a great night last night for Jordan Walker as he wins the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby. I will recap all of that for you straight ahead.
The news continues at 6:11. St. Louis County Police say they have a suspect in custody for Saturday night's homicide in the 2100 block of Empire Court. Officers from the North County Precinct found 43-year-old Darren Henderson fatally wounded inside a home. Evidence suggests the shooter and victim argued before the gunfire. The suspect's name will be released when formal charges are filed.
A homecoming celebration this weekend in Ballwin as St. Louis native and Archbishop Emeritus of New York, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, returns to his childhood parish to mark the 50th anniversary of his ordination as a priest.
Cardinal Dolan will celebrate the noon mass on Sunday at Holy Infant Parish in Ballwin, where he grew up as a child and was later ordained into the priesthood in 1976, as well as elevated to St. Louis Auxiliary Bishop in 2001. A reception will follow Sunday's Mass. Last year, Cardinal Dolan submitted his resignation to the Pope when he turned 75 years old, per church law, and at the time said he was looking forward to frequent visits home.
I'll be able to spend some more time at home with my beloved nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters.
Cardinal Dolan still lives in New York City and currently serves as the co-chief chaplain for the New York City Police Department. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
If you have a student in the Fox School District, you received notification that right now they are down 7 bus drivers. That translates into 21 routes not being covered. KMOX contacted Fox, and they advise this letter goes out every year at this time before the first day of school, which is August 25th. District spokesperson Andy Waterman says they are in the process of recruiting new drivers to replace those who have retired.
A Central Illinois lawmaker is facing federal corruption charges and now an investigation by her colleagues. We get more from Nancy Hardy.
A special committee will look into misconduct allegations against Representative Carol Ammons of Urbana after 11 House Republicans called for an investigation. The Democrat was charged last week with wire fraud and making a false statement to the FBI, while she and her husband, who's the Champaign County clerk, also face charges of conspiracy to obstruct justice. The House GOP said in a statement, the people of Illinois deserve elected officials who respect the public trust, follow the law, and are held accountable when serious allegations arise. Ammons has said in a statement she's done nothing wrong and strongly disagrees with the allegations. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A friendly face at the St. Louis Board of Election Commissioners office has passed away. Gary Stoff served as Republican Elections Director since 2001. In a statement, election commissioners say in part Stoff's dedication to the integrity of elections will be remembered by all who worked alongside him. A memorial mass will be Wednesday, July 22nd at 10 at St. Stephen Proto-Martyr Church on Wilmington Avenue. Stoff survived by his wife Betsy and their family.
hope you did not miss the Home Run Derby last night. It was quite the night in Philadelphia. Cards first-time All-Star Jordan Walker really said hello to the National Baseball audience last night, and he did it in dramatic fashion.
A homer wins it, a non-homer, and we're going to a swing-off. Baseball is not afraid. Wow! Is that enough? Is that enough? Jordan Walker wins it! Come on, baby!
That's the crew on Netflix last night calling the action. That was Walker's final swing in the Home Run Derby. He needed 13 in his final round to beat Kyle Schwarber of the hometown Phillies. He homered on his last 6 swings, and the last 4 came when Walker was down to 1 swing left. He becomes the first Cardinals player to win a home run derby. After the win, the Cardinals slugger spoke to the media. He said he was just trying to have fun.
I can't even describe how it means to win it. There was a lot of swings, a lot of pressure, but I think I just had fun no matter what. Like every round, I was having a good time. You know, as a kid, I grew up. My favorite thing to do playing baseball is hitting home runs. So when the competition is, dedicated to doing it, I'm gonna have fun doing it.
If your name was not Schwarber or Bryce Harper, you were greeted with a heavy chorus of boos, and that included Jordan Walker, but it didn't bother him.
I thought it was Philly's brutal. I mean, honestly. But I think it's pretty special because they love their players, and that's what you want, from your home, like where you play. I mean, I'd never hear people cheer so loud for Schwarber and Harper, and those guys did their thing for sure. But I can't hate them because that's their hometown, that's their guy. So I just got to play the game.
Walker was also showing the love to his batting practice pitcher, and that would be the Cardinals' Cleninger Teran.
If y'all know, throwing VP is not as easy as it looks, and he made it look easy. I've been hitting with KT for 3 years now? Yeah, so, and I've always been like, yeah, it's BP's money, and every time I'm not in this BP group, I'm a little upset. But yeah, I'm glad to, have him doing me just some really unbelievable BP, and as much pressure as I was feeling, I can imagine he was nervous as well, but he overcame that. Overcame it really well.
That win for Jordan Walker comes with a grand prize of $1 million. Tonight, Jordan Walker, Ivan Herrera, Riley O'Brien, and manager Oliver Marmol. They will all represent the Cards as part of the National League at the 96th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The National League has won 2 of the last 3 games, including last year when it took a swing off to do so. All time, though, the American League leads the All-Star Game 48-45, and there's been 2 ties. First pitch tonight is set for 7 o'clock Central, and that game can be seen on Fox. Next sports update comes up at 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center, and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss?
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors. 636-441-7470, or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:20, and this is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey, along with Brian Feldman and Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Debbie, this update is brought to you by Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family. It's a great start to your Tuesday morning. If you're just headed out the door into downtown St. Louis, you are delay-free coming from the Metro East westbound 5564, crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. Not seeing any issues crossing the usual Veterans Bridge either. Northbound on Highway 270, we had that reported stall northbound at Manchester Road. Just before Manchester Road, it was reportedly blocking the right lane, according to MoDOT. Not seeing any delays through that stretch between 44 and Highway 64. Similar story coming in from St. Charles County, eastbound on Highway 70, eastbound on Highway 64. Not seeing any issues. Make your way towards St. Louis County. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wish everyone a safe and joyful summer. Proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th, America. Our next traffic update at 6:30. I'm Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From a weather standpoint, it's going to be pretty nice today. Mostly sunny, high of 90 degrees. Tonight, clear, warm, and humid, low of 74. More sunshine and clouds tomorrow. Rather hot and humid, though, high of 92. Thursday and Friday is where some of that wet weather might be returning. Possible thunderstorm in the afternoon Thursday. Possible thunderstorm Friday as well. Highs of 91 and 89 those 2 days. Saturday, back to dry weather, mostly sunny, hot and humid, a high of 93 degrees. Right now, we have sunny skies and 72 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:22. We've been hearing a lot about aortic dissection in light of the D.C. Medical Examiner's Office finding that 71-year-old South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham died from a ruptured aorta brought on by probable hardening of the arteries. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer tells us more about this often fatal heart condition.
The aorta is like a hose that comes out of the heart under high pressure. It's got layers, and the innermost layer can start to tear. If the innermost layer starts to tear, the layers come apart and separate from each other, and that's called an aortic dissection. Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel says immediate attention is needed to survive this hard-to-detect condition.
You start to feel chest pain. From the time you start to feel that tearing chest pain, the mortality rate is about 2% an hour at that point. We don't know when he started to have symptoms. It's an absolute emergency, and by the time, and we all heard the 911 call, by the time you have a cardiac arrest, your chances of coming back are very, very low.
Dr. Siegel says if you experience severe chest or back pain, he says it's imperative you go to the emergency department right away for a complete workup that includes screening for aortic dissection. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Former Missouri U.S. Senator Jim Talent considers the late South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham a friend. Talent tells KMOX's Chris and Amy Graham was not afraid to speak his mind and tried to sustain the norms of the office.
Lindsey had the same basic attitude I did, which is, look, just because you disagree with a judge doesn't mean you shouldn't vote to confirm them, provided that they have a consistent jurisprudence and they're willing to stick to it.
South Carolina's governor has chosen Lindsey Graham's sister to serve out the remainder of her brother's Senate term. We get more from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
In South Carolina, the governor announcing Lindsey Graham's sister Darlene will soon take her brother's place in Washington.
It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now.
Graham raised his sister after both their parents died by the time she was only 13. Darlene Graham Nordone saying she's ready to step in.
Lindsey has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him.
Above the Capitol, the American flag at half-staff.
As news of Monday's killing of a man by ICE agents in Maine soaks in, the district attorney in Houston formally launching an investigation into a similar incident in his city. ABC's Jim Ryan tells us about the complicated process of gathering evidence.
In each fatal incident involving ICE agents, the federal government steps in and controls the investigation. Sean Tier, the district attorney in Houston, says he's hitting a brick wall as he looks into the killing last week of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo.
The federal government is not collaborating to this point with us in this investigation.
After months of negotiations, the Trump administration has provided evidence long sought by investigators looking into January's killing of ICE protesters Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
If your teen has a concussion, should you take away their phone?
A concussion is a type of mild brain injury that can briefly cause headaches, vision changes, forgetfulness, and sleep disturbances. Current recommendations advise no screen time in the first 48 hours after a concussion to avoid eye strain, interference with sleep, overworking the brain, and worsening symptoms. But new research is challenging that guidance. In a report from the British Journal of Sports Medicine, teens with a new concussion who had around 2.5 hours of daily screen time recovered 35% faster than those with more or less screen time. Researchers suggest that moderate screen time use keeps young people socially connected and mentally engaged, which may support recovery without worsening symptoms. Still, this is only one study, and the results should be taken with a grain of salt. Parents and caregivers should always speak with the doctor about how to best manage a concussion in your child first. I'm Melissa Adon.
A grandfather recovering after a bison at Yellowstone National Park charged and threw him into the air over the weekend. ABC's Trevor All reports.
It happened Friday in the height of the summer tourism season. That bison inside a picnic area of the park.
Look out, bison!
And as it stops to rest, that grandfather and his grandson taking photos. That's when the buffalo stirs and charges. The grandfather, unable to escape, flipped 8 feet into the air. That grandfather suffered multiple broken bones. He's recovering after surgery. His grandson was not hurt.
Park officials say bison can weigh up to 2,000 pounds and run 35 miles an hour. They urge keeping 25 yards of distance because animals can be unpredictable.
It is now 5:20, make that 6:26, and the Time Check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
You take care of your dog out of love and responsibility. But what if every scoop that you're feeding them is slowly making them sicker? Not because you're a bad pet owner, but because the pet food industry never told you the truth. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Blank, Amazon #1 best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. Dog food is dead food, stripped of every live nutrient that your dog needs. That's where Rough Greens comes in. Just sprinkle it on top of whatever you're already feeding them. It's packed with live probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and over 20 live vitamins and minerals, all natural and made in the USA. Thousands of dog owners are watching their pets transform. More energy, shinier coat, better mobility, and your dog could be next. Take the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. Give us 90 days and we'll give you a healthier dog, guaranteed. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code USA. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code USA. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. it could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Teachers, healthcare workers, first responders, and military. This one's for you. Scott Credit Union's Community Heroes program offers special financing on homes, autos, and more. It's our way of saying thanks. Visit scu.org today. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 415767. Terms and conditions apply.
At 6:31, we have sunny skies and 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, July 14th. Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and this is Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thanks, Debbie. Sunny skies and easy drives this morning. Headed northbound on Highway 270, not seeing any delays between 5544 and Highway 64. Coming in from Eureka, eastbound Highway 44 looks good all the way to the 270 interchange. A great run into downtown St. Louis, westbound 5564 from the Highway 70 merge, headed towards the Poplar Street Bridge. Similar story coming in from St. Charles, eastbound on Highway 70, eastbound on Highway 64. That road construction on westbound Highway 70 at David Hokel Parkway, not slowing you down at all. You're down to one lane there until 2 o'clock. They'll open up that second lane for the afternoon rush hour after 2. Our next traffic update at 6:40. I'm Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Pretty simple forecast today. Sunny, hot, high of 90 degrees. That's pretty it. We got some dry weather. Tonight, clear, warm, and humid, a low of 74. Right now, we have sunny skies and 72 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is now 6:32, and this just in, St. Louis County Police investigating a double shooting overnight in rural Florissant, west of Route 367. A spokesperson says it happened about 4 this morning on Chillum Drive. Both victims said to have non-life-threatening injuries and are being treated at area hospitals.
Mayor Kara Spencer has signed the Rams settlement bill into law, allocating the $250 million to North City, downtown, and citywide infrastructure improvement needs. Mayor Spencer says the funds going to the water division will be hard to see, but move quickly.
The water department has shovel-ready projects that are ready to go. I mean, the water department has identified some key areas of much-needed investment.
Spencer also says North City funding will also move quickly, especially for tornado relief, with many of those programs already established. Downtown will deliberately take longer as the city plans to work in conjunction with the private sector.
For months, KMOX News has been reporting on $72 million the General Assembly cut from the Missouri Blind Pension Fund. Governor Kehoe has signed the 2027 budget minus that reserve money.
Missouri Council for the Blind's Denny Held tells KMOX no cuts to blind people's pensions are expected right now. However, if that fund would run low on money.
They started out wanting to take $64 million. We advocated for them not to take any, but we agreed on $45 million. Then at the very last minute, the day that they were to approve the budget, the legislators, they took another $27 million from it.
When KMOX asked Governor Kehoe's spokesperson if it might be restored, we received the following statement, reading in part, quote, "There wasn't a $72 million cut of blind pension. What the General Assembly did was fund $45 million in HB 2 and $27 million in HB 20 from the Blind Pension Fund for a total of $72 million from the Blind Pension Fund for the DESE Foundation formula." Unquote. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your money report next at 6:34.
Chris Ronchi and Amy Marks Kors connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
And sinkholes. I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
It is now 6:35 and time for your money report. It's sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Wall Street is watching the maker of Tylenol. Shares of Kenvue fell over 1% yesterday. A federal appeals court revived lawsuits claiming the Johnson & Johnson spinoff hid alleged risks that Tylenol could cause autism in children whose mothers took the drug while pregnant. The decision allows the case to proceed. Kenvue says the ruling didn't address the underlying facts of the case. Turning to trading, the interim peace between the U.S. and Iran has collapsed. American forces have reimposed a naval blockade and launched another wave of airstrikes. This is holding back stocks. S&P futures are little changed. Dow futures are down 140 points. And home prices in the U.S. are at an all-time high. According to Redfin, prices rose 2.2% in June from a year ago to an all-time high of close to $409,000 nationwide. The real estate market has gotten a bit more competitive due to the steady labor market. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I've no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch, prepare governance.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is Who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is now 6:40 and time for us to check the roadways. Roger Brand is off this week, and we have Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center with the latest on your ride in.
Debbie, this update is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Taking a look at the roadways out in St. Charles County, eastbound Highway 64 looks great, passing Lake St. Louis, Highway 94 all the way through the Boone Bridge. Similar story coming in St. Louis County, eastbound 64 from the Chesterfield Valley, making your way towards Clarkson and 141. No problems to report there. Into downtown St. Louis, westbound 64, a great run between 255 and the Merge. 55-64 crossing the Poplar looks good so far this morning as well. A few more headlights and taillights northbound on Highway 270 approaching Manchester Road, but no major slowdown there, headed up towards Highway 64. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today, now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Our next traffic update at 6:50, Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Meteorologist Joe Lundberg joins us now. And Joe, it looks like we're going to have some dry, if not hot weather for the next couple days.
Indeed, we will. In fact, nothing but sunshine in the forecast for today, and temperatures will settle in around 90. Should lead to a clear, warm, sticky night tonight of 74. That sun will start to mix with some clouds tomorrow. Gets a little bit hotter at 92. And things start to go a little sideways on Thursday. An upper level disturbance coming at us of all directions from the southeast will bring us a few more clouds. Still get at 91, but it could lead to a thunderstorm in the afternoon as well. Friday, clouds and sun, a very warm, humid end to the week with a thunderstorm or two and a high in the upper 80s. Back to mostly sunny conditions for Saturday with a high back into the low 90s. 69 currently at St. Peter's, at 72 in Florissant, sunny 75 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. You probably already know, but I'll tell you who's hot today in baseball. That's coming up in sports.
It is 6:42. A 6-month moratorium on new data centers passed the St. Charles County Council last night without anyone voting against it. During the debate, council members discussed whether a 6-month window was long enough to evaluate the issue compared to neighboring cities. Here's Councilman Joe Brazel.
St. Charles did a permanent ban.
St. Charles did.
O'Fallon is considering one.
Okay, so last meeting I said that this seems more like a political show because it's only 6 months and it's right after the general election. If it were really to have some teeth, if St. Charles thought it was lawful to do a permanent one, I don't know why we're not doing a permanent one to revisit, or at least do a 1 or 2 year, make it 1 or 2 years.
The council also voted to change the senior property tax relief program, removing the requirement for seniors to annually renew that benefit.
St. Louis Children's Hospital has a new president. BJC Health named Nikki Stafford to the post. She most recently served as president of American Family Children's Hospital in Madison. Stafford succeeds Trish Lalo, who was recently appointed group president of BJC Health East Region.
Hundreds of people needed rescuing when historic flash flooding hit parts of Missouri Friday. Ryan Benedict is the information specialist for Task Force 1. They went to Camp Tomsock, where people were completely cut off by rising waters.
We had rescue specialists that paired up with the Army National Guard in their Black Hawk helicopters. They planted them in the campgrounds to start triaging and coordinating the response of the children and the counselors. And, I mean, there was upwards of over 200 just right there in that one operation.
Benedict says many campers were caught off guard since the waters began rising quickly at night.
As floodwaters begin to recede across parts of south central Missouri, emergency crews shifting their focus from rescues to recovery. Public Safety Director Mark James tells MissouriNet the work far from over.
There was a lot of damage to the public infrastructure, county roads, county low water bridges. The county officials, along with SEMA, are doing damage assessments. We'll see then if we qualify for federal assistance.
The Madison County Coroner's Office says a Bridgeton man died Saturday morning while trying to shut off a transformer at U.S. Steel's Granite City Works. The cause of death for 62-year-old Mitchell Nelson was electrocution. The United Steelworkers Union vowing a comprehensive investigation into the matter.
4 Missouri correctional facilities trying out a prison transformation program.
MU social work professor Kelly Canada says the goal is a safer environment. The program involves transforming designated wings of a prison by painting the walls softer colors and other steps. It also includes respectful interactions between staff and inmates.
The staff training is as important as those physical transformations.
She says the techniques worked in Scandinavian prisons, resulting in less violence and less prison staff turnover. Sue Danielson, MissouriNet.
The program in Missouri's at 4 facilities: Texas County, Moberly, Vandalia, and Farmington.
Who's Hot is sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, and Making Memories. Nobody hotter in baseball today than the Cardinals' Jordan Walker. Last night, he ousted hometown favorite Kyle Schwarber to become the first St. Louis player to win the All-Star Home Run Derby. He went for 13 in the first round to tie former teammate Wilson Contreras for the most in any round. He knocked out Junior Caminero in the semifinals. Walker talked with the postgame crew on Netflix, including Albert Pujols and Barry Bonds, and he talked about his turnaround this season.
Honestly, what I told myself, I gotta keep my head up. I mean, just from where I was last year to this year, I mean, life turns around fast, in all honesty. And it was tough. It was tough to keep my head up sometimes, but I kept going. And honestly, I had the best teammates around me, and honestly, I had the best staff around me. Obviously, best family around me as well. That kept me going, so that was super important.
Barry Bonds commented on how calm the Cardinals slugger seemed during the event.
Well, I'm glad I had everybody fooled because I was really nervous, in all honesty. But I just did what I tried to do during the game. I grabbed a little bit of gum, and it kind of keeps my mind off of what's going on. And that's pretty much it. When I was talking to a lot of my teammates before, shout out Newt, shout out Mason, shout out Antico, they told me to just swing easy, honestly. Like, it doesn't matter how far you hit it. It just matters how many home runs you hit. So that was really the goal today.
Tonight, Walker takes part in his first All-Star game, along with teammates Ivan Herrera and Riley O'Brien. It's the first time the Cardinals have had multiple participants in the game since they sent 5 to the 2022 All-Star Game. Manager Oliver Marmol also will serve on Dave Roberts' National League staff. The Phillies' Christopher Sanchez will start for the National League, while Dylan Cease of the Blue Jays gets the ball for the AL. First pitch is set for 7 o'clock. St. Louis City is on the field as they train ahead of the team's return to MLS play Thursday, and Jen Cease was there.
St. Louis City SC returns to MLS play Thursday night after nearly a month away from league action. Midfielder Conrad Vollum says the break gave the club valuable time to build on the progress it made before the pause.
I think we're very prepared. The feeling within the team is very good. Try to pick up where we left, and even better than that, when we have the weeks we had now, we can implement even more tactical stuff that we don't really have time to do on the field when the matches are tight. I think we're ready to go. We're excited.
Vollum says the extra work also helped him personally as he looks to make a bigger impact in the second half of the season.
The first half of the season was a lot of new things, but now everything is settled. I'm at a good place on the field, off the field, and I'm really looking forward to the second half of the season and showing my quality and the team's qualities.
City hosts rival Sporting KC Thursday night at Energizer Park. Kickoff set for 7:45. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
And the first World Cup semifinal takes place today as France meets Spain. That game is in Dallas, and kickoff is 2 o'clock this afternoon. Next sports update is 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you can all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that. If you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. You're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at Purina.com.
So much to love about summer, longer days, backyard barbecues, but if you've noticed your air conditioning running constantly or certain rooms just never seem to cool down, could be your windows. Right now with Universal Windows Direct, you buy 4 windows, you're going to get 4 windows for free. You're also going to get 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash, 4 full years to pay off those windows. 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Roger Brand is off, so that means we turn to Frank Ladd at 6:50 in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And we're sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. Busier now northbound on Highway 270 between Big Bend and Doherty Ferry. North of there, it opens up passing Manchester Road, headed towards Highway 64. Nowhere near a stop and go in that stretch, though. Headed northbound on 55. It's a great run this morning between Highway 270 and South City towards downtown St. Louis. Musial Veterans Bridge looks good this morning. Westbound on Highway 70, crossing from the Metro East into St. Louis City. Our next traffic update at 6:58. Frank Ladd at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Weather-wise, not bad today and tomorrow. It'll be a little hot, mostly sunny and 90 today, 92 and humid tomorrow. But then Thursday and Friday, a chance of a thunderstorm creeps back into our forecast. It'll be 91 on Thursday. It's 69 and sunny out there right now.
The news continues at 6:52. Former Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush taking aim at the current office holder, Wesley Bell, with what she describes as a lackluster tornado response.
Bush attacked Bell for the lack of a disaster relief block grant and slow FEMA response compared to 2022 when St. Louis was hit with devastating flooding. Bush says the Republicans controlling the legislative and executive branches is not a valid excuse.
Didn't say in his 2024 campaign that I will do a good job depending on the conditions in Congress. What he said was he was going to be better than me. What he said was he was going to get things done faster than me and that he was going to use his connections to Republicans to do that.
In a statement to KMOX, a spokesperson for Bell's campaign says he fights for St. Louis every day and inferred Bush played a part in Trump's election when she called Vice President Kamala Harris a fascist. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Friday was an intense one for employees at Huzzah Valley Resort in Steelville as river flooding approached the popular summertime destination.
Luckily, we had enough time to get everybody out safely and secured everybody. We did have to open up a new evacuation route on the property, and it worked out.
Resort manager Carrie Cottrell told our partners at Fox 2 that since the water receded, they've been cleaning up, making repairs. They should be ready to reopen Thursday.
A motorcycle rider died after sunrise Monday when a sport utility vehicle collided with his bike. St. Louis County Police say it happened as the SUV attempted to turn off Lemay Ferry Road onto a business lot. The driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with investigators. The victim's name has not been released.
Paying more up front can actually help you save money. We get more on that from Rob Hart.
If you're shopping for clothes, the more expensive product could save you money in the long run.
Retail consultant Jan Rogers-Niffen tells the Noon Business Hour that higher quality merchandise can last for years before you need a replacement.
Buying things that they think they're going to use or wear time after time.
Niffen says experts know what makes a quality product, and since most of us aren't experts, we gravitate towards brands with a reputation for quality.
We buy trusted brands. We buy Louis, we buy Hermes, we buy Zegna, things that we know are really well made and have that value because the name is printed on them.
It is now 6:54.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
July 14th celebrity birthdays include MMA fighter Conor McGregor is 37 years old today. TV actress Jane Lynch is 65. Happy birthday, TV actress Sarah Canning is 38. And TV actor Matthew Fox. Happy birthday. He is 59.
And the birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Happy birthday wishes going out to Nancy Miller and Lonnie Escant from the Life Group, Julia Meredith, and Tom Purcell.
This is the best birthday ever.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing bone cancer. July is Bone Cancer Awareness Month, and visiting with us is Dr. Angela Herbie, medical oncologist at Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. Herbie, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Treatment typically involves a combination of surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. So it's really important to have a team of specialized doctors, so surgeons, medical oncologists like myself, and radiation oncologists who are really familiar with these tumors. We know the outcomes are best when they're treated by specialists who see these tumors all the time. And we're very active in trying to move the needle forward. We have over 20 clinical trials for sarcoma patients, looking for treatments that work better, have fewer side effects, and also trying to develop ways to improve cancer detection.
Dr. Angela Herbie, thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
AP Sports, I'm Mike Hempen. Jordan Walker silenced Philadelphia's Bluebirds by homering on his last 6 swings, chasing down Phillies slugger Kyle Schwarber in the final round to win the home run derby. Walker becomes the first St. Louis Cardinal to do so. This evening, it's Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. Philadelphia's Christopher Sanchez will start for the National League. Toronto's Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the American League. This afternoon, France and Spain meet in a World Cup semifinal game in Dallas. Utah Jazz guard Trey Alexander was taken from the court on a stretcher Monday night after appearing to injure his side on a drive to the basket in an NBA Summer League game against the Bulls. No word on his injury. And Josh Allen was voted the NFL's top quarterback by the Associated Press in a preseason survey. I'm Mike Hempen, AP Sports.
It's 6:58. Let's check in with Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Just a couple of moderate pockets of volume this morning, making your way northbound on Highway 270 near Geordie Ferry, making your way up to Manchester Road. North of there, not bad. Headed up towards Highway 64 into downtown St. Louis. You're going to see a little bit of volume ramping on to westbound 5564 from westbound Highway 64 and Highway 70. That's the good news. It's not bad into downtown St. Louis this morning. Delay-free on the Poplar Street Bridge as well as the Musial Veterans Bridge. Our next traffic update at 7:10. Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Tuesday, July 14th. I'm Debbie Monterey.
I'm Sean Malone. The Rams settlement bill has officially been signed. Coming up, I'll tell you what kind of oversight there will be.
Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman.
Southeast Missouri residents are still trying to make it to their homes following this past weekend's flooding. I'm Maria Aquino with the story.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Plenty of sunshine again today with a high around 90.
Horse Joe Pod will have sports coming up at 7:15 with more highlights from the Home Run Derby. Stay with us here on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Oil prices are still rising as Brent crude is now more than $87 a barrel as the U.S. and Iran launch new attacks targeting each other. ABC's Karen Waz, the latest from Washington.
President Trump now vows the U.S. will control the Strait of Hormuz, and Trump now wants to charge a 20% fee on all cargo passing through it. He doesn't say how he would do that.
I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money.
Trump's own Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, recently said such a plan would not be allowed under international law.
JP Morgan Chase has just reported profits of nearly $17 billion in the latest quarter, taking advantage of volatility connected to the war. The governor of New York today is expected to sign an order that would stop construction of big new data centers in the state for a year while regulatory framework is considered. This is ABC News. As millions of people face extreme heat this week, officials are reminding those in rivers and creeks to always wear a life jacket. An Idaho rescue was a recent reminder, says ABC's Sophie Flay.
My first thought when I first flipped is you're going to die.
Ashlyn Monroe says she was trapped underwater for about 40 seconds before grabbing a branch and pulling herself up. The current pinning her against the trees.
It was scary. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced.
A neighbor called 911 and firefighter Trenton Hogan swam across the rapids to reach her.
I introduced myself actually just like how you would a normal person at the grocery store, right? Hi, my name's Trenton. What's yours?
Hogan got her into a life jacket and his team was able to safely get her to dry land.
Astronomers have discovered space sugar. Researchers using radio telescopes studied data from a large gas cloud near the center of the Milky Way and found a sugar that's in raspberries and self-tanners. And scientists say these sugars are key building blocks for life. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
At 7:02, we have sunny skies and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today's Tuesday, July 14th. Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. St. Louis County Police are investigating a double shooting overnight in rural Florissant, west of Route 367. A spokesperson says it happened around 4 this morning at Chillum Drive. Both victims said to have non-life-threatening injuries and are being treated at hospitals.
A bill allocating the $250 million St. Louis City received from the Rams settlement has been signed into law. How long will it take for those dollars to be doled out?
The money set to go to North City and the Water Division is expected to move quickly. However, downtown is a different story, says Mayor Kara Spencer.
It will be a little bit longer as we really build out the strategic plan. We will be working with GSL and Arch to Park and other stakeholders to match those dollars and make sure that we're getting them done right.
Mayor Spencer says the vacancy reduction in particular will require private sector collaboration. The final tally, $120 million will go towards North City and tornado recovery efforts, $75 million for citywide infrastructure, and $55 million for downtown. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Michael Calhoun. Business leaders are celebrating not just the Rams dollars to downtown, but also new state programs to help. After 3 years of lobbying by Greater St. Louis, Inc., Governor Keough signed the Missouri Innovation, Public Safety, and Accountability Act. The bipartisan law takes effect in August and is designed to spark hundreds of millions of dollars in downtown investments. Beyond just rehabbing old buildings, the legislation promises to direct a slice of new state tax revenue from within the district directly into local infrastructure and public safety projects. Greater St. Louis, Inc. says in a statement, quote, "This law recognizes the critical importance of downtown St. Louis to the state's economy, catalyzing hundreds of millions of dollars in new investment in the economic engine of the state."
Also in the news this morning, a 15-year-old girl, angry with her family, plotted with her 16-year-old boyfriend to kill them. Those are the chilling details coming out of the mass shooting in East St. Louis, where 7 people were shot and 5 were killed.
The girl, according to the Post-Dispatch, ran away last week with a gun stolen from her mother and was part of a group chat with her boyfriend and other teens talking about killing her family. The girl's father said his daughter was getting in trouble at school, so her mother decided to homeschool her, which made the girl angry. Sunday night, the 2 teens were arrested. Charges could be announced as early as today.
Meanwhile, in Jefferson County, 3 juveniles are in custody after a 16-year-old, Gabriana Boyster, was found shot Sunday. Her body had been abandoned since Friday. Boyster lived near the home near Hillsbury, or lived at the home near Hillsborough, where she was found. Charges are pending.
KMOX has a follow-up on a story we've been following since March. Missouri lawmakers cutting $72 million from the Blind Pension Fund and allocating to a different fund.
Mike Kehoe signed the new 2027 budget, but the governor's spokesperson says in a statement to KMOX, quote, "There was not a cut. What the General Assembly did was fund $45 million in HB 2 and $27 million in HB 20 from the Blind Pension Fund for a total of $72 million from Blind Pension Fund for the DESE Foundation formula," unquote. Denny Huff with the Missouri Council for the Blind.
0.03% on $100 is levied from the property tax.
Huff tells KMOX no immediate cuts are expected for blind people, but regardless how the state separated the money, that $72 million is no longer a reserve for the Blind Pension Fund. The Council for the Blind has an attorney looking into the legality of what the General Assembly did. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Governor Kehoe signed Elijah's Law legislation, making sure staffers in childcare settings are trained to recognize the signs of an allergic reaction known as anaphylaxis and respond quickly in emergency situations, ensuring that children are safer. Elijah's Law is a bill named in memory of Elijah Silvera. 3-year-old Elijah died in November 2017 after a severe allergic reaction at his child care center. Elijah's parents set out to ensure protections are in place in all child care centers.
What do we need to know about our hearts following the sudden death over the weekend of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham at the age of 71 due to a ruptured aorta? KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Senator Graham's likely cause of death was ruled an aortic dissection brought on by chronic heart disease and hardening of the arteries. Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel says prevention and awareness are the keys to trying to catch this hard-to-detect and often fatal condition.
First of all, your diet, how much you're sleeping, how much you do regular exercise. We have Oura rings now where you can actually monitor yourself. You got to go in for regular checkups, and it's not just men. It's also postmenopausal women are at equal risk. You have to be checked by a physician. You have to have EKGs. We have a new test, fairly new test out called a CT angiogram, which looks exactly at the arteries of the heart. We can look at the aorta as well. We have echocardiograms.
Dr. Siegel says today's anti-cholesterol drugs are really crucial to lowering our risk of any cardiac condition. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Metrolink trains will not operate between the Forest Park to Bolivar and Grand Metrolink stations all day Saturday and Sunday. That's this upcoming weekend. This is because of bridge maintenance work. During these periods, Metrolink station shuttles will transport riders by bus. Riders should allow an extra 30 minutes to avoid delays on their weekend commutes.
Traffic and weather next. It's 7:08.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 and schedule a custom income review at no charge. Or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty. This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
All right, it's 7:10. Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. We start with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we just heard a call for emergency responders to head to an accident northbound on Highway 55, north of Highway Z. I've got the backup on the camera. We don't have a view of the accident itself, but it's definitely a slow stretch now. Northbound on Highway 55 from McNutt to Highway Z. North of there, make your way through Barnhart and Arnold. A pretty good run on northbound Highway 55. You do have volume northbound on Highway 270 this morning, starting at about Big Bend in pockets, headed up towards Manchester Road. It opens up, headed towards Highway 64. Delay free into downtown St. Louis, westbound 55-64 crossing the Poplar, westbound 70 crossing the Bushel. Similar story coming in from St. Charles County. A great run eastbound Highway 70, Lake St. Louis through 79, all the way to the Blanchette Bridge. Our next traffic update at 7:20. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, plenty of sunshine today. The high 90, clear, warm, humid tonight, though 74. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with clouds, rather hot and humid, the high 92. Thursday, times of sun and clouds, quite warm and humid. Watch out for a thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 91. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now we have sunny skies and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch.
We're talking home run derbies and St. Louis City soccer. That's all coming up in sports.
It's now 7:11. Following public opposition to data centers, St. Charles County implements a 6-month pause on new data center applications. The measure passed unanimously last night, allowing county leaders time to study the long-term impacts on the community. Resident Kara Elms testified in support.
After reading the bill for the moratorium on data centers, it is apparent that St. Charles County is taking the steps to be proactive before receiving applications for hyperscale data centers. This bill seems to focus on public health and welfare, which needs to be kept at the forefront of this effort.
In a separate unanimous vote, the council also approved changes to the senior property tax relief program, getting rid of the new annual paperwork for seniors.
Massive data centers packed with computer servers remain controversial. ABC's Hannah Battah reports Meta's project in the Bayou State could be the biggest of its kind.
Facebook parent company Meta is more than doubling the size of its data center in Richland Parish, a $50 billion project so big 10 power plants need to be built to supply it with electricity. The governor praising the economic impact.
It's going to create 7,500 construction jobs, more than 1,000 permanent high-paying jobs, nearly 1,900 additional indirect jobs.
The data center could eventually use 6 times more power per day than the entire city of New Orleans on the hottest day of summer.
A major housing and disaster relief bill is now the law of the land, despite a holdout from the White House. President Trump refused to sign the bipartisan Road to Housing Act, reportedly over unrelated voting legislation, but because of a constitutional time limit, that bill took effect automatically.
Local Congressman Wesley Bell says the measure will help Missourians build generational wealth through home ownership. The legislation also permanently funds disaster recovery programs.
Growing outrage after an ICE agent shot and killed someone who was not the target they were pursuing. That's the second time in less than a week. This time it happened in Maine. ABC's Victor Oquendo is there.
A spokesperson for ICE telling ABC News, ICE law enforcement attempted to conduct a vehicle stop. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Monday's shooting coming 6 days after Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was shot and killed by ICE agents in Houston. Authorities there also alleging the victim threatened agents with his vehicle, though they did not provide evidence. At least 9 people have been killed during immigration enforcement operations under the second Trump administration.
The end of the ceasefire with Iran rattles the global economy, sending oil prices soaring. President Trump saying Monday the U.S. will have the situation with Iran, quote, under control very quickly. Trump touting the naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, which is set to resume today. ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis.
Prices right now at the pump are up 8 cents over the last week. The national average is now $3.82. And analysts are forecasting that we could see $4 gas in the next 7 to 10 days, if not sooner. And this all comes back to the Strait of Hormuz. It is not returning to the old normal. Fewer ships are moving through there. Just 10 of them crossed through overnight. For reference, during the MOU, when that was happening, you were seeing 70 ships through.
Well, if you're a Cardinals fan and you passed on last night's home run derby, sorry for you. Cards' first-time All-Star Jordan Walker introduced himself to the National Baseball audience last night, did it in dramatic fashion.
A homer wins it, a non-homer, and we're going to a swing-off. Baseball is not afraid. Wow! Is that enough? Is that enough? Jordan Walker wins it! Come on, baby!
That was the call last night on Netflix. Walker's final swing in the home run derby. Of course, it's also our cut of the game. It's sponsored by the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Walker needed 13 in his final round. Check it, he needed 12 in his final round to beat hometown favorite Kyle Schwarber. He homered on his last 6 swings, and the last 4 came when he was down to 1 swing left. Walker became the first Cardinals player to win a home run derby, and after the win, he spoke with the media and said he was just trying to have some fun.
I can't even describe how it means to win it. There was a lot of swings, a lot of pressure, but I think I just had fun no matter what. Like every round, I was having a good time, you know. As a kid, I grew up, my favorite thing to do playing baseball is in home runs. So when the competition is, dedicated to doing it, I'm going to have fun doing it.
While participants not named Schwarber or Bryce Harper were greeted with a heavy chorus of boos all night, but that didn't seem to deter Walker.
I thought it was Philly's brutal, honestly. But I think it's pretty special because they love their players, and that's what you want, from your home, like where you play. I'd never hear people cheer so loud for Schwarber and Harper, and those guys did their thing for sure. But I can't hate them because that's their hometown, that's their guy. So I just got to play the game.
Walker showered his batting practice pitcher with praise. That's the Cardinals' Cleninger Teran.
If y'all know, throwing BP is not as easy as it looks, and he made it look easy. I've been hitting with KT for 3 years now. Yeah, so. And I've always been like, yeah, it's BP's money. And every time I'm not in this BP group, I'm a little upset. But, yeah, I'm glad to, have him. Dobie, just some really unbelievable BP. And as much pressure as I was feeling, I can imagine he was nervous as well. But he overcame that. Overcame it really well.
That win comes with a grand prize of $1 million for Walker. Tonight, he, along with teammates Ivan Herrera, Riley O'Brien, and their manager, Oliver Marmol, they'll all be present for the 96th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The National League has won 2 of the last 3 games, including last year when it took a swing off to do so. All time, the American League leads the game 48-45, and there have been 2 ties. First pitch tonight is 7 o'clock Central, and the game can be seen on Fox. Next sports update is 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
What has your candidate actually delivered? In Clayton, Ladue, Olivet, and Warson Woods, there's just one Democrat running for state representative who can answer. That's Sidney Clark. As mayor, he's delivered more than $100 million in economic growth and some of the strongest home values in the region. Balanced budgets, steady leadership, a neighbor since 1973. And now, Sidney Clark will protect what you've built, stopping costly data centers from hiking your utility bills, and voting no on Amendment 5, which actually increases taxes on everything you buy. No other candidate in this race can say it. Sidney Clark has already done the job, and he's ready from day one. Sidney Clark, results, not rhetoric. Democrat for State Representative District 99.
I'm Sidney Clark, and I approve of this message. Paid for by Sidney Clark for State Representative District 99. Tammy Clark, Treasurer.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 7:21, let's check in with Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're still watching this slowdown northbound on Highway 55 approaching Highway Z. It's an accident just north of Highway Z that's got you slowing down. You're hitting the brakes near McNutt on 55 northbound. North of there, not bad through Barnhart and Arnold, headed up towards the 270 interchange. Northbound on Highway 270, you do have that normal pocket of volume starting at about Big Bend up through Doherty Ferry and Manchester Road. Just busy, but not bad volume-wise, making your way headed towards Highway 64. No slowdowns in that stretch there north of Manchester Road. Westbound 5564 crossing into downtown St. Louis from the Metro East on the Poplar Street Bridge. You are good to go as well. Our next traffic update at 7:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, thanks, Frank. It's not going to be bad today. I mean, it'll be hot. It's July and 90 degrees with mostly sunny skies. 92 tomorrow with sun and clouds. And then Thursday and Friday, we have a chance of a thunderstorm or two hanging around. In the meantime, it is sunny out there and 71 degrees.
The news continues at 7:22. Holy Infant Catholic Parish in Baldwin welcomes its native son, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, back home this coming weekend. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Cardinal Dolan will celebrate the noon mass on Sunday at Holy Infant Catholic Church, the parish where he grew up. After the service, there will be a reception to mark his 50th anniversary as a priest and his 25th anniversary as a bishop. Both ordination services took place at Holy Infant Parish. Last year, Cardinal Dolan submitted his resignation to the Pope as New York Archbishop when he turned 75 years old, per church law. At the time, he said he was looking forward to frequent visits home.
I'll be able to spend some more time at home with my beloved nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters.
Cardinal Dolan still lives in New York City and currently serves as co-chief chaplain for the New York City Police Department. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
There's a big cleanup underway in southeast Missouri following this past weekend's flooding. As we've reported, some residents in towns like Lesterville still haven't been able to see the damage to their homes. Maria Kina spoke with the Red Cross's Ann Vassmans, who visited Southeast Missouri on Sunday.
Kind of give the listener some insight, create a picture here for them, what it looks like.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of damage in the area. There's a lot of roads that are still closed. I spoke to several people who have not been able to get back to their home because the roads are either flooded away or they're covered in debris. And so seeing that disaster relief and handing out those cleanup kits, that's what was really heartwarming to see the community come together. There's a hub that has kind of organically created itself at the Lesterville School, where people have brought in donations, they've brought in food. We are there now at the school as well. That's kind of our command post. Missouri Baptist Relief is there. And everybody's just coming together to hear what is it that this community needs and how can we help them. And a big part of that, too, is emotional support and mental health support, and just, making sure that the community knows that there is help for them and they don't have to do this alone.
It's not even safe enough to get to their homes yet. They don't even know what they're dealing with.
No, and that's what we saw yesterday as well. So there was a lot of linemen that were out fixing all of the electric wiring. And so a lot of the roads are still closed, too, because there's fallen power lines, poles and wires. And so we want to make sure that people are safe and that they don't try to drive over or get over those power lines, because they could electrocute people. So it's definitely not a safe area yet for people to return to their homes.
And do you have any estimates on how many people are displaced?
I do not have a number on how many people are displaced. I know that we had opened a shelter over the weekend, and nobody needed that shelter to stay. They all had places to go, which again is just such a tremendous, way to the communities coming together. They're really taking care of their own and helping everybody to have a safe landing, and so that they can focus on that recovery.
And Ann, tell us again how people can help.
Yeah, so there's several ways that people can help. So the best way for us is to make a financial donation to the Red Cross. You can do that by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or by donating online at redcross.org. And then again, if you want to help your neighbors in need, you can come volunteer with us. We will train you to respond to these kind of disasters. And you can go to redcross.org/volunteer to find out more about the different positions that we have available. We just want people to know that help is needed down there. There has been a lot of damage and devastation, but the community really is coming together to help people in need. And the Red Cross is there for those people as well. We want to make sure that the community knows that help is there for them, and we will be that shoulder to lean on for them for however long they need it.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
There's growing opposition to a major Hollywood merger. A dozen states suing to block Paramount's takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays explains Monday why her state is joining the suit.
When fewer films are available, theaters may be forced to raise ticket prices to remain viable, and Arizona consumers bear those costs.
Paramount says the lawsuit is wrong on the facts and the law, and argues the merger is needed to better compete with streaming giants.
It is 7:26, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman. We're in the heart of the summer, which means we're in the heart of pool season, and the Missouri Athletic Club West has the best pool in the area. The MAC with the outdoor bar and all the great seating areas, the Missouri Athletic Club does it right. Families and guests enjoy the Missouri Athletic Club West Pool. The MAC West is awesome. Now, the MAC Clayton is our newest clubhouse. They don't have a pool there, but they do have some great restaurants, bars and restaurants, and outstanding ability to just kick back and enjoy or have a business meeting. Big fans we are of the MAC Clayton, no doubt about it. And then you have the downtown clubhouse, which is historic. It is the home of so many great events throughout the year. It's also a great place for me downtown to hop over and have a quick breakfast or a meeting with a client. I love the MAC for a variety of reasons. The Missouri Athletic Club mac-stl.org.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do and you do. You know, we all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
At 7:30, we have mostly sunny skies and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, July 14th. Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey, along with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, drivers are headed northbound on Highway 55 this morning, Debbie, starting at McNutt. You're going to run into delays there. You're stop and go heavy in that stretch north of McNutt up to a crash north of Highway Z. The accident is blocking a couple left lanes on the left, obviously. So just the right lane is getting by. Northbound Highway 55, just north of Highway Z. There are emergency vehicles on the scene, but no tow vehicle just yet. So it could be a few more minutes before they get this one out of the way. Northbound 55, north of Highway Z. Your other heavier pockets and just off the pace, northbound on Highway 270 passing Gravois, back on their brakes again between Big Bend and Manchester Road. Our next traffic update at 7:40, Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Here's the weather forecast for today from Joe Lundberg. Mostly sunny, high of 90. Pretty simple. Tonight, clear, warm, and humid, low of 74. Right now, we have mostly sunny skies and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Staff expects the campground at Johnson Shut-in State Park to open by tomorrow. It has been closed since Black River floodwaters rushed through the grounds this past weekend. Most of the damage is in the day use area of the park, which surrounds the east fork of the river. There's no timeline for that part of the park or the shut-ins to reopen.
For some perspective, this was the largest natural flow event in Johnson Shut-in's history, cresting at 33,800 cubic feet per second. Swimming access typically closes when the flow reaches 75 cubic feet per second.
Yeah, if people were just half paying attention while you read that, they usually close swimming when it's 75 cubic feet per second of water. It was 33,800 cubic feet per second. That is.
So you're saying that's a lot?
It's a lot of water. Wow. We're hearing accounts from Missouri Task Force 1, which worked Friday with the National Guard rescuing campers from Camp Tomsock, the area completely cut off by rising floodwaters.
Some people were caught off guard because the water rose overnight, and so it's very difficult. And the best thing to do is to try to escape to high ground. But these situations, they unfold very quickly when the rain starts pouring down like this.
Task Force 1's Ryan Benedict says they had 8 Black Hawk helicopters and rescued more than 200 people. Speaking on Total Information AM, he says the water was 16 feet higher than normal after as much as a foot of rain fell.
Missouri researchers say they're seeing benefits from a prison transformation project. University of Missouri social work professor Kelly Canada says it involves physical changes and calmer interactions between prison workers and those serving time.
These are more peaceful wings. They're more pleasant to work on. They don't feel safety threats like they might in other wings. It's not as chaotic.
The program currently at 4 Missouri correctional facilities: Texas County, Moberly, Vandalia, and Farmington.
In Metro East news, the Madison County Coroner's Office says a Bridgeton man died Saturday morning while trying to shut off a transformer at U.S. Steel's Granite City Works. The cause of death for 62-year-old Mitchell Nelson was electrocution. The United Steelworkers Union vowing a comprehensive investigation into the matter.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your money report next at 7:34.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
It is 7:35, and we'll get you traffic and weather here in 5 minutes. But first, let's get you your money report. It's sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Small business owners are feeling a little more optimistic, helped by a recent drop in energy prices. The National Federation of Independent Business says its Small Business Optimism Index jumped in June by the most in more than a year, reaching its highest level since February. But owners still have plenty of concerns. Many say high interest rates and inflation are making them cautious about hiring and investing in their businesses. Speaking of that, we get a key report on consumer prices this morning. Another hot inflation reading could fuel worries that the Federal Reserve may be forced to hike interest rates soon. S&P futures are holding steady ahead of that data, which will be released before the opening bell. And Polymarket has teamed up with a crypto firm to offer prediction markets in time for the World Cup semifinals. The new betting function will let blockchain.com users bet on real-world outcomes from its app. The feature will appear in the European Union, but not yet in the United States. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Member FDIC.
You guys know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner that leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Don't risk it with the other guys and skip the do-it-yourself disasters that leave your carpet soaked for days. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet zero resified starting at just $129. Call 314-474-2020 or you can book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Just ask for the DGS special at ZeroResSTL.com.
Tom Ackerman here. You know, here's the thing about estate planning, and I hear this a lot, is, I have an estate plan. We did that years ago, but we've been meaning to look at it again. And honestly, that is the problem. Estate plans should not be one and done. Most plans don't fail because people don't care. They fail because life changes and the plan doesn't keep up. At Lederman Law Firm, it isn't just paperwork. It is an ongoing process. They build your estate plan to protect your family and your property, and then for a fixed annual fee, they actually help maintain it so it stays aligned with the changes in your life, your assets, and the law. That is a big reason why we have stayed with Lederman Law Firm all these years. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, including Illinois, and you want an estate plan that actually works, call the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch prepare governance.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is 7:40. Let's get you caught up on your ride in. Hopefully nothing in your way. It's a bright, sunny morning, so you may need the sunglasses. Frank Ladd joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And Debbie, this update is sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. They're still working with this crash. It's northbound on Highway 55, just north of Highway Z. At last update, the right lane was getting by. Now just the right shoulder is getting by. There is a tow truck on the scene getting the car out of the way, but that's what's got those essentially all the main traffic lanes blocked northbound on Highway 55. North of Highway Z, that right shoulder is open, and that's where folks are squeezing by. You're backed up to about McNutt now, northbound on 55. You've got pockets of volume northbound on 270 as well. Gravois back on the brakes again between 44 and Manchester Road, southbound 170, filling in just a little bit now, approaching Highway 64. 64 eastbound, you've got a slower stretch now between McKnight and Big Bend. Into downtown St. Louis, a little more volume westbound on 55-64, approaching the Poplar Street Bridge, and some volume both directions on Route 3 at Monsanto. Looks like there might be a train crossing there. You've got significant backups to about Judith now, northbound on Route 3 up to Monsanto. Our next traffic update at 7:50. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Meteorologist Joe Lundberg now with our forecast. And Joe, I like the very straightforward forecast for today. Mostly sunny,
simple.
High of 90.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing much to talk about today. It's just nice and sunny, an average day. The average high today should be 90. That's where we're headed to today. And tonight will be clear, warm, humid, about 74. That sun will start to mix with some clouds tomorrow. We'll head to 92. Now we get to Thursday. We'll introduce a chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon. There's some moisture sneaking in from the south and east, so I think that'll contribute to a few more clouds and that chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. Our high 91. May stay in the upper 80s on Friday with a bit more in the way of clouds and a better chance for a thunderstorm or two, but then it dries out on Saturday, mostly sunny, the high back into the low 90s. 72 at St. Peter's. It's 74 in Florissant. Nice, sunny, 75 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Jill Pott. Among other things, we're looking forward to a World Cup semifinal today. I'll tell you more about that and more coming up in sports.
All right, it is 7:42. The response to South Central Missouri's historic flooding reached far beyond local emergency crews. Public Safety Director Mark James says state and local first responders quickly came together under a unified command to coordinate rescues and support affected communities.
As the waters were rising to 2:30 in the morning, the Highway Patrol was sending swiftwater rescue teams. All of the parts and pieces came together.
The Crawford County Sheriff's Department says a woman who went missing during flash flooding was found dead Saturday about 2 miles downstream from her home.
People can also donate and do financial donations. So they can call 1-800-RED Cross or they can donate online.
Red Cross's Ann Vastman's talking with KMOX about the mass destruction in southeast Missouri following this past weekend's widespread flooding. Some residents yet to make it back to their homes.
There's a lot of roads that are still closed. I spoke to several people who have not been able to get back to their home because the roads are either flooded away or they're covered in debris.
The Red Cross still needs volunteers in the flood zone. You will be trained, and you can also make a financial donation.
St. Louis Children's Hospital has a new president. BJC Health has named Nikki Stafford to the post. She most recently served as president of American Family Children's Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. Stafford succeeds Trish Lalo, who was recently appointed group president of BJC Health East Region.
For months, KMOX has been reporting on $72 million Missouri's General Assembly cut from the Missouri Blind Pension Fund. We now understand Governor Mike Kehoe has signed the 2027 budget minus that reserve money.
Missouri Council for the Blind's Denny Held tells KMOX no cuts to blind people's pensions are expected right now. However, if that fund would run low on money.
They started out wanting to take $64 million. We advocated for them not to take any, but we agreed on $45 million. Then at the very last minute, the day that they were to approve the budget, the legislators, they took another $27 million from it.
When KMOX asked Governor Kehoe's spokesperson if it might be restored, we received the following statement, reading in part, quote, there wasn't a $72 million cut of blind pension. What the General Assembly did was fund $45 million in HB 2 and $27 million in HB 20 from the Blind Pension Fund for a total of $72 million from the Blind Pension Fund for the DESE Foundation formula. Unquote. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Well, the ins and outs are sponsored by Innsbrook Resort, where every day is the weekend. Last night, Cardinals outfielder and first-time All-Star Jordan Walker ousted hometown favorite Kyle Schwarber to become the first St. Louis player to win the All-Star Home Run Derby. He went for 12 in the final round to tie, went for 13 in the first round to tie former teammate Wilson Contreras for the most in any round. He knocked out Junior Caminero in the semifinals. Walker talked with the postgame crew on Netflix, including Albert Pujols and Barry Bonds, and talked about the turnaround he is having this season.
Honestly, what I told myself, I keep my head up. I mean, just from where I was last year to this year, I mean, life turns around fast, in all honesty. And it was tough. It was tough to keep my head up sometimes, but I kept going. And honestly, I had the best teammates around me, and honestly, I had the best staff around me. Obviously, best family around me as well. That kept me going, so that was super important.
Barry Bonds asked Jordan Walker about how he kept his nerves under control during the event.
Well, I'm glad I had everybody fooled because I was really nervous, in all honesty. But I just did what I tried to do during the game. I grabbed a little bit of gum, and it kind of keeps my mind off of what's going on. And that's pretty much it. When I was talking to a lot of my teammates before, shout out Newt, shout out Mason, shout out Antico, they told me to just swing easy, honestly. Like, it doesn't matter how far you hit it. It just matters how many home runs you hit. So that was really the goal today.
Tonight, Walker will take part in his first All-Star game along with teammates Ivan Herrera and Riley O'Brien. It's the first time the Cardinals have had multiple participants in the game since they sent 5 to the 2022 All-Star game. Manager Oliver Marmol also will serve on Dave Roberts' National League staff. The Phillies' Christopher Sanchez will start for the National League, while Dylan Cease of the Blue Jays gets the ball for the AL. First pitch is set for 7 o'clock. St. Louis City is on the field training ahead of the team's return to MLS play Thursday, and Jen Cease was there.
St. Louis City SC returns to MLS play Thursday night after nearly a month away from league action. Midfielder Conrad Vollum says the break gave the club valuable time to build on the progress it made before the pause.
I think we're very prepared. The feeling within the team is very good. Try to pick up where we left, and even better than that, when we have the weeks we had now, we can implement even more tactical stuff that we don't really have time to do on the field when the matches are tight. I think we're ready to go. We're excited.
Vollum says the extra work also helped him personally as he looks to make a bigger impact in the second half of the season.
The first half of the season was a lot of new things, but now everything is settled. I'm at a good place on the field, off the field, and I'm really looking forward to the second half of the season and showing my quality and the team's qualities.
City hosts rival Sporting KC Thursday night at Energizer Park. Kickoff set for 7:45. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
Well, of course, the first World Cup semifinal takes place this afternoon as France meets Spain in Dallas. Kickoff is 2 o'clock. France is your favorite, and French star Kylian Mbappe is the number 1 favorite to score at some point in this one. There's your parlay of the day. That's sponsored by Circus Sports, sports betting the way it should be. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. I love hearing when people say that they went to Innsbruck for the first time and it exceeded their expectations. That makes me happy because it's absolutely true. You can hear us talk about Innsbruck, but when you actually go and visit, you're going to be blown away. The golf course, the lakes, 100 of them, the hiking trails, so many. You couldn't cover them all. 7,500 acres of beautiful Missouri forest, and right in there in Warren County, easy to get to, close to home, wildlife. It's got it all. It's Innsbruck. Plus, the homes are stunning. You can rent. You can eventually buy. Check it all out at Innsbruck-resort.com. You'll be very happy that you did. I'm pleased to talk about it every chance I get. Innsbruck-resort.com. We like to say every day is the weekend at Innsbruck, and that is absolutely true. Innsbruck Resort.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 7:51, we need to check the roadways with Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
I'm watching the emergency vehicles pull away from this accident scene. All lanes are about to be back open northbound on Highway 55 at Highway Z. The car is loaded up on the flatbed and gone. So that's good news. The bad news is you still have a backup towards McNutt northbound on Highway 55. Still seeing delays headed towards the Poplar Street Bridge on Route 3. You've got, looks like a train crossing at Monsanto. So northbound Route 3 drivers are backed up at Judith up to that scene. Southbound coming off the bridge, you've got a little bit of a delay as well. And you've got your normal pockets of volume northbound on Highway 270, starting at Gravois through Highway 44, making your way up towards Manchester Road. And we do have reports of a new crash now. It's westbound on Highway 44 at Jefferson. So you've got a little bit of a slowdown there as well. Our next update at 7:58, Frank Ledden, the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, it's going to be 90 today with mostly sunny skies, 74 overnight, sun and clouds tomorrow, hot and humid with a high of 92. Right now in downtown St. Louis, it's sunny and 72 degrees.
The news continues at 7:52. Less than a month out from the August primaries, a former Missouri congresswoman attempting to contrast her disaster response from the candidate who currently holds her seat.
Former Congresswoman Cori Bush is arguing incumbent Wesley Bell has not lived up to his campaign promise of being a more effective legislator than her, especially when it comes to tornado relief. She contrasts the lack of a community development block grant for disaster relief following the May tornado with the $110 million the city received after the flood of 2022.
It was because I didn't allow people to tell me no. I know that the money was supposed to be for one area for our disaster recovery, but I called everybody. I called every federal agency I could. That's how you do it.
Bush adds it is not a valid excuse that in 2022, Democrats controlled the House, Senate, and the White House, compared to now when Republicans control all three. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
In a statement to KMOX, a spokesperson for Bell said, quote, St. Louis has not received the relief it should have because of one person, Donald Trump.
If you have a student in the Fox School District, you should have received notification that right now they are down 7 bus drivers. That translates into 21 routes not being covered. KMOX contacted the Fox District and they advised this letter. They told us that the letter goes out every year at this time before the first day of school, which is August 25th. District spokesman Andy Waterman says they are in the process of recruiting new drivers to replace those who have retired.
Missouri patients have new protections after Governor Mike Kehoe signed a package of health care legislation this week. The new laws force hospitals to reveal their pricing and stop insurance companies from limiting certain care. The bills also expand maternal health tracking and establish rights for abortion survivors.
The Attorney General's office in Maine is leading the investigation into yesterday's fatal shooting of a motorist by an ICE agent.
Demonstrators on the streets in Biddeford, Maine, Monday after an ICE agent shot and killed a motorist. Immigrants' rights groups say the man was a 26-year-old native of Colombia. The Department of Homeland Security, which includes ICE, says in a post on X that agents were surveilling an address for a person with an order of removal from the U.S. The department says when ICE tried to stop a vehicle coming from that address, the vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Before the ICE statement, Maine Senator Agnes King said Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen told him the officer opened fire after the man tried to use his weapon as a vehicle against ICE agents. The Maine Attorney General's office says the ICE agent has been placed on leave. I'm Mike Hempen.
There are heat alerts and flood warnings across the country this morning. In the South, some cities and towns are experiencing dangerous floods. ABC's Kana Whitworth.
More than 125 million Americans sweltering under dangerous heat that's also bringing severe storms and flooding. The streets of Hondo, Texas, turning into rivers. Louisiana pummeled with torrential rain, flooding roads.
I pulled over safely because there were cars that were stalled.
How are we going to get the mommy out?
In Georgia, rushing waters trapping a woman in her vehicle, passing motorists helping rescue her from her car.
Wear a life jacket. That reminder from officials in Idaho after a scary water rescue at Indian Creek.
My first thought when I first flipped is you're going to die.
Ashlyn Monroe says she was trapped underwater for about 40 seconds before grabbing a branch and pulling herself up. The current pinning her against the trees.
It was scary. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced.
A neighbor called 911 and firefighter Trenton Hogan swam across the rapids to reach her.
I introduced myself actually just like how you would a normal person at the grocery store, right? Hi, my name's Trenton. What's yours?
Hogan got her into a life jacket and his team was able to safely get her to dry land.
It is 7:56.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting our wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
With the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Here is Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, lanes are wide open and thinning out now northbound on Highway 55. That earlier accident out of the way at Highway Z. Still seeing some delays northbound on Route 3 approaching Monsanto, but they're easing southbound on Route 3 towards Monsanto, so it could be the good news that the train is out of the way there. Westbound on Highway 44 at Grand, you've got road construction. That has you down to, it looks like just one lane, maybe on the left, maybe two, but it's very narrow through that stretch. Our next traffic update at 8:10, Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Coming up on the next hour of Total Information AM, Megan Lynch talks with a personal injury attorney after the news with the question, can parents successfully sue tech giants or content creators for social media challenges that harm their kids? Manufacturers are using AI to speed up research and development. We'll learn more from Burton Kelso, the technology expert. The members of the president's cabinet are touting the sauerkraut diet. Does it work? Dietitian Michelle Wilson shares her thoughts.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Another sunny day today with a high around 90.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. More attacks from both sides in the Middle East. Iran and the U.S. have launched strikes, and oil prices up again this morning. Javad Ali is a former senior director for counterterrorism on the National Security Council.
It seems like we're almost back to where things were on February 28th to the middle of April, when every day both Iran and the United States and back then Israel were conducting hundreds of strikes against each other. And I think what we're seeing now, this is a battle of wills, months into that post-February 28th opening salvos.
About 125 million people in the U.S. facing high heat today as a new summer heat wave pushes across the country. New York's governor is set to sign off on a one-year moratorium on building new data centers statewide above a certain size. It would be the first restriction of its kind in the country. This is ABC News. The man who headed the Uvalde School District Police Force on the day a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers is back in a Texas court today.
Former Uvalde Schools Police Chief Pete Arredondo is to stand trial early next year on charges that he endangered the lives of students and staff at Robb Elementary School by not responding quickly up to the 2022 mass shooting there. Arredondo wants 19 Border Patrol agents who were at the scene with him to testify at his trial, but Customs and Border Protection has resisted. Arredondo will make his case today before a federal judge. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Wisconsin's Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez is running for governor, but says she's had to fire her campaign manager after discovering her campaign has far less money than she thought.
Because I was continually getting inaccurate reports from my campaign finance person, from my campaign manager.
She says she's staying in ahead of the August 11th Democratic primary. She called this a bump in the road. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
At 8:02, we have sunny skies, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Tuesday, July 14th. I'm Megan Lynch. A 6-month moratorium on new data centers passed the St. Charles County Council last night without anyone voting against it. During debate, council members discussed whether a 6-month window was long enough to evaluate the issue compared to neighboring cities. Councilman Joe Brazel.
St. Charles did a permanent ban.
St. Charles did.
O'Fallon is considering one.
Okay, so last meeting I said that this seems more like a political show because it's only 6 months and it's right after the general election. If it were really to have some teeth, if St. Charles thought it was lawful to do a permanent one, I don't know why we're not doing a permanent one to revisit, or at least do a 1 or 2 year, make it 1 or 2 years.
The council also voted to change the senior property tax relief program, removing the requirement for seniors to annually renew the benefit. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer has signed a bill allocating the $250 million RAM settlement funding to North City, downtown, and citywide infrastructure needs.
One of the criticisms of the bill funding North City was how susceptible previous city-led programs were to fraud, with the North City Business ARPA program being mentioned. Comptroller Donna Barringer says they will keep a close eye on all funds expensed with the RAM settlement money to make sure they actually go to those in need.
Our E&A secretary will maintain a public running total of the RAM settlement dollars that have been encumbered, giving residents a clear view of how these historic funds are being invested and ensuring taxpayers can follow these historic investments every step of the way.
Funds going towards the Water Division and North City are expected to be expensed quickly because their programs are up and running, while downtown will take longer, says Mayor Kara Spencer. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Michael Calhoun. There's another front in the effort to give new life to those skyscrapers looming over downtown. Governor Keough signed a major economic development bill to start the week, unlocking what are being called powerful tax incentives. A key piece of the legislation offers $6 million a year to help developers convert vacant office space into residential housing. Half of that money is specifically reserved for massive properties like the long-empty AT&T Tower and the Railway Exchange, which used to be home to Macy's and the department store headquarters. Greater St. Louis Inc. calls the bipartisan bill a top priority that will revive the state's economic engine.
St. Louis County Police investigating a double shooting overnight in rural Florissant, west of Route 367. A spokesperson says it happened around 4 this morning on Chillum Drive. Both victims said to have non-life-threatening injuries. They're being treated at hospitals. This past weekend's flooding in southeast Missouri left a large path of destruction, and some residents can't even return to their homes yet.
The Red Cross has volunteer teams there as far away as Arkansas.
So cleanup is starting as well, and so if you want to help communities through the Red Cross, you can always consider volunteering with us. We are always in need for volunteers, as we are 90% volunteer-led.
Ann Bassman says you can also make a financial contribution to the Red Cross.
If you want to be able to help your neighbors next time there's a disaster such as this, you can go on redcross.org and you can find out all about our volunteering opportunities.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Former Congresswoman Cori Bush contrasting the federal aid St. Louis received from the 2022 flood to the 2025 tornado in an attempt to regain her seat from incumbent Wesley Bell. Bush says not only did St. Louis receive more funding, the response from FEMA was more efficient.
We work with those agencies to help stand up relief sites and resource centers very quickly. As a matter of fact, it was noted actually by St. Louis Public Radio that I got FEMA in town faster.
Bush adds under her time as Congresswoman, St. Louis received $110 million in disaster relief block grants while the city continues to wait for that kind of funding for last year's tornado. In a statement to KMOX, a spokesperson for Bell says, quote, Cori Bush is only looking out for Cori Bush. St. Louis has not received the relief it should have because of one person, Donald Trump, close quote. St. Louis native and Archbishop Emeritus of New York, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, will return to his childhood parish this coming weekend to mark the 50th anniversary of his ordination as a priest. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Cardinal Dolan will celebrate the noon mass on Sunday at Holy Infant Parish in Baldwin, with a reception to follow. The 76-year-old cardinal grew up at Holy Infant and was ordained as a priest there in 1976. Last year, Cardinal Dolan submitted his resignation to the Pope when he turned 75 years old, per church law. He continues to live in New York, but says retirement means more trips back home.
I'll be able to spend some more time at home with my beloved nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters.
Cardinal Dolan currently serves as co-chief chaplain of the New York City Police Department. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
St. Louis Children's Hospital has a new president. BJC Health has named Nikki Stafford to the post. She most recently served as president of American Family Children's Hospital in Madison. Stafford succeeds Trish Lalo, who was recently appointed group president of BJC Health East Region. A familiar face at the St. Louis Board of Election Commissioners has passed away. Gary Stoff served as Republican elections director since 2001. Stoff was known and loved as a personal familiar face to poll workers and voters alike. In a statement from the election commissioners, they say in part, his dedication to the integrity of elections will be remembered by all who worked alongside him. A memorial mass will be Wednesday, July 22nd at 10 at St. Stephen Protomartyr Church on Wilmington Avenue. Stoff is survived by his wife, Betsy, and their family. It's 8:08, traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
If you've been told that you need a new heating and cooling system for your home, and if you've gotten prices or you're going to get prices, call me. Try to stay away from the word high efficiency or efficiency. If you replace your system now and it's 12, 15, or 20 years old, you are greatly improving the efficiency just by replacing the old, inefficient unit. Do not be fooled. If you want a common sense approach and you just want your house cooled, I will help you. If you're good with that, call me. One easy number. It's Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
1-2. And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
St. Louis. Summer baseball is on at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals host the Cincinnati Reds July 24th through the 26th for a weekend packed with Cardinals action and giveaways like the Victory Blue jersey and Kids Fredbird hat. Round up your crew and enjoy 3 days of summer baseball and family fun. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
Fredbird fans, this one's for you. Sunday, July 26th, the Cards take on the Reds, and kids 12 and under can get a one-of-a-kind Fredbird hat. It's colorful, fun, and perfect for cheering on the Redbirds. Plus, it's Kids Sunday with Team Fredbird. Music, games, and lots of fun in Ford Plaza. Grab your family and come have some fun at the ballpark. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is JJ Weatherholt. See you at Busch Stadium.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10, let's check the roads with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we're seeing delays now. 55 southbound approaching McNutt. Looks like there may be an accident there. It's definitely heavier through those work zones from Highway Z down to McNutt on southbound 55. So use some caution if you're making your way through that tight stretch there on 55. We're starting to thin out northbound on Highway 270 now. Just a heavier pocket now from Big Bend up to about Manchester Road. Southbound 170. You're on the brakes headed towards Highway 64. You do have reports of a crash. It's westbound 64 west of the Tam Avenue overpass. I do see a slowdown at Hampton, but I'm not seeing an accident just west of there near the Oakland overpass. So pay attention, use some caution coming around the bend on westbound 64 into downtown St. Louis. Just a little bit of volume on the Poplar Street Bridge. That's westbound 5564 into downtown St. Louis. Our next traffic update at 8:20. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine today, quite warm and humid this afternoon, high 90. Clear, warm, sticky tonight, low 74. Sunshine mixes with clouds tomorrow, rather hot and humid, the high up to 92. Low 90s on Thursday with times of sun and clouds, but watch out for a thunderstorm in the afternoon. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have a sunny morning this morning. 76 degrees reported in Florissant, 74 in St. Peter's, 74 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Calls to poison centers involving teens and Benadryl more than doubled the first 5 months of the year compared to the same period last year. The FDA has issued warnings about the so-called Benadryl challenge. Teens on social media taking excessive amounts of the medication to try to overcome its drowsy effects. Connecticut officials among those issuing warnings after 3 children in the state died of overdose, and an Oklahoma family believes the challenge led to their 15-year-old daughter's death. What legal recourse do families have? With me now, personal injury attorney Lem Garcia. Lem, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Hi, Megan. Thanks for having me.
When it comes to this, who is legally responsible when there are injuries or even deaths from these viral trends?
I think from these viral trends that there's a good chance that we can hold the social media platforms legally responsible for what happened here. So both TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, if they show these dangerous videos to children with their algorithm, especially if it's on their their suggested pages or For You pages, there's room to hold them responsible for what happened.
Is that helped by some of the recent high-profile cases against some of these tech giants?
Absolutely. I think there's a more recent case, Anderson versus TikTok, where, initially the court said that, you could not sue TikTok for something like this because they're really just a platform where they're just showing information. But later on, the court ruled that, they're not just a messenger. TikTok is not just a messenger, and that, their algorithm recommends dangerous content to children. So then, they allowed the case to move forward and, potentially hold them responsible for the death or the injuries that were caused from the challenge that was posted on their platform.
Is this product liability then?
Absolutely. This is in product liability. I think, it would go under a design defect where, we just do a risk benefit analysis and, we look at to whether a product is defectively designed, and we ask whether the benefits outweigh the risks. And I think in this situation with TikTok and Instagram, we look at, yes, social media does have social benefit or benefits, but then also when you have an algorithm that pushes dangerous content, dangerous challenges to children, then we're looking at something where the risk outweighs the benefit, and we should really be looking for what's called a safer design to protect children.
What about the creator who is posting these beyond just the platform? Do they have legal liability in this?
I think there's room for that as well, to hold the creator responsible, in particular if they have a large influence in the community. That's it's foreseeable that what they their content will influence children to do these dangerous challenges. But a lot of our motivation is to get compensation for the families, to make sure that they receive justice, and the creator might not have the assets to do that. So we're looking, we look primarily to these platforms and hold them responsible.
So for families that might get caught up in one of these social media challenges, what are some of the hurdles in mounting an actual case? What do families have to show and prove?
The biggest hurdle would be to get the evidence to show what happened here. So, you can have, you have your son, your daughter engaging in a challenge that's dangerous and cause injuries or death. But then you would have to prove that the platform, showed this video to them, and it wasn't just something that, their friend told them to do, and then they later posted it on later on. And then you would have to, gain access and get that evidence from their app, and, have the history show that they viewed it, and then later on do it. And I think if you have more of a temporal connection, like it's happened soon after they viewed the video, the stronger evidence that you have. So it's really about gathering the evidence to show that they were influenced by the video.
Is that challenging and costly if it's just, for example, one family trying to go after a tech giant?
Absolutely. Like I think if the injury is something that's not serious, maybe not that big of an injury, then you have to do another, I guess, risk benefit analysis and see or cost benefit analysis and see, okay, this is going to be a big case and very costly case against a tech giant that can outspend everybody. Do we have the time, energy, and resources to pursue damages that might not be enough to even cover the cost of pursuing the case against the quote unquote tech giant?
Well, I think sometimes when people look at a personal injury, they think they might get a substantial payout. But what are really the realities of what you could actually receive, for example, to cover medical costs or other expenses?
Well, I think at a minimum, covering the medical expenses is the minimum. As far as pain and suffering, it really comes down to, every case is different. It comes down to how serious were your injuries, what kind of impact do those injuries have on your life. And those payouts can be quite significant. And I think the issue becomes pursuing a case against, a defendant that has all the resources and time to really make a stand when they're thinking about the big picture and saying, we don't want to pay out these claims. We're going to shut it down as quickly as possible and spend money up front so that we don't have a lot of people pursuing these claims. So the payout can be large. It's just a matter of, will your payout be enough to cover the cost of getting the compensation that you deserve?
As a personal injury attorney, how do you counter the defense that this might be something that parents could have and should have prevented their children from doing?
Well, absolutely. I think personal responsibility is very important, and also, parenting is very important. Those things matter, and kids, absolutely should be making good decisions. But I think, the argument to these companies, these social media platforms, is that they have a platform, they have an algorithm that is designed to keep children addicted. They have personalized content. They could repeatedly show the same video to a child that's really vulnerable to influence, peer pressure, social validation. And then the videos, they spread quickly. Their friends might be doing it. And then to top it off, these challenges are very easy to do. And I think I think there's a really strong argument that the risk of showing these videos have really no benefit to a society where we want to keep our children safe, and that should really be at the forefront.
Would there ever be enough legal action, especially by individuals, to have any kind of deterrent effect on influencers or these social media platforms? Absolutely.
I think if enough of these cases are successful, or one case or two cases are hugely successful, this will be a deterrent to these platforms to prevent them from continually sharing these videos or even allowing these videos to exist on their platforms when they really serve no social benefit besides really just crass entertainment.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time on this.
Thanks for having me again.
That is personal injury attorney Lem Garcia, who practices in Southern California, which, of course, is a major hub for tech and digital media. Still ahead this hour on Total Information AM, manufacturers are using AI to speed up research and development. We'll learn more from Burton Kelso, the technology expert. Plus, members of the president's cabinet are touting the sauerkraut diet. Does it work? Dietitian Michelle Wilson will share her thoughts later on this morning. Let's get Frank Glad's thoughts on the roads. He is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And this update is brought to you by Huff Heating and AC. It looks like it's opening up just a little bit now, southbound on Highway 55. Seeing more volume making its way through the McNutt intersection there. Still some delays south of Highway Z through the road construction through that slower stretch there. We had a new report of a crash southbound on Highway 270 just before 55 between Tesson Ferry and 55, but it's over on the right shoulder, not giving you any headaches at all. Northbound on Highway 270, still on the brakes in pockets. It's off the pace, I should say, between Big Bend, Doherty Ferry, Manchester Manchester Road. North of there, a good run headed towards Highway 64. It's been delay-free coming in from St. Charles County all morning long, eastbound on Highway 70 and eastbound on Highway 64 to St. Louis County. Our next traffic update at 8:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
A pretty day today, mostly sunny, a high of 90, clear, warm, and humid tonight, an overnight low of 74, and then sun mixing with clouds tomorrow, hot and humid, a high of 92. We have sunshine, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
I'm Megan Lynch, and you're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. If you are wondering how artificial intelligence is used in product development, I came across an item in Reuters. French cosmetics company L'Oreal is actually using AI to develop products under a much faster time frame. Let's learn more. With me now, technology expert Burton Kelso, owner of Integral, based in Kansas City. I'm wondering, Burton, if this is where AI can really shine.
Megan, I would have to agree. This is definitely where AI can shine because it's more than just generative AI making goofy cat videos and plagiarizing material from poor artists. This is an area where I like to term what AI should stand for. Yes, it's called artificial intelligence, but it really should be augmented intelligence because it definitely is bringing out the fact that we are taking products and we're taking our knowledge and we're using AI to help us go to the next level as far as developing products, whether it be skincare or whatever out there, even food products. So, I mean, I think it's great.
Should we be concerned at all about, what we keep hearing that this could replace human researchers?
No, I don't think so, because I think researchers have understood that researchers aren't like most people where they want to use AI to automate everything. Researchers are like, I want to be into the weeds when it comes to developing stuff. I just need a tool that's going to help make that process a lot faster. So there should be no concern that researchers are going away and AI is going to do it all. It's more of a let's collaborate and see how we can get the best product, and AI is going to help us achieve this goal.
So taking the L'Oreal example, how does this work? How do they churn out products faster using AI?
Well, what they've done with the AI chatbot is they've gone through and they've trained it to say, okay, well, yeah, we need you to look at molecules when it comes to anti-aging skincare. And AI obviously is able to analyze those molecules quicker than a human and also able to give better results. So at the end of the day, researchers can say, well, AI has generated this as far as a skincare routine and collagen-based products. Now let's do our research to make sure that AI has done the right thing. And then from there, we can confirm that this is the right path to go, and we can quickly develop products that are going to be utilized for skincare. So I think it's brilliant to bring products to market a lot quicker. And of course, you know, when it comes to the latest skincare routines, that's what you want. And Megan, I think the other thing that is going to get some buyers, if you're looking at a younger audience with skincare, if you throw the term AI in there, it's going to make people go, oh, wow, okay, well, this is really tried and tested. Let me go ahead and get that product.
Are we seeing a lot of other companies leveraging AI successfully in this way to develop their products?
Yeah, there's food companies like Cadbury. The company that makes Oreo and Cadbury cookies, they're doing the same thing as far as AI flavoring is concerned. So they're using chemistry data to say, well, what's going to make a better Oreo? What's going to make a better Chips Ahoy cookie?
All right. That is technology expert Burton Kelso joining us this morning here on KMOX. And coming up next, we'll have the latest on the war in Iran and what the White House plans to do to take control of the Strait of Hormuz. It's now 8:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Tom Ackerman for my friend, the president of McKelvey Homes, Jim Brennan. I have known Jim for a long time, and I know how generous he is and how generous McKelvey Homes can be, giving $1,898 back every time they sell a home. Now, they settled on that number, $1,898, because that's the year they were founded. They are the oldest home builder in the state of Missouri. They give back to the St. Louis community for every home they sell. They're also known for quality and for taking care of you every step of the way. McKelvey Homes works with you to build a home that you will love, and the Post Farms in O'Fallon, Missouri can be it. They thought of everything in this community: 2 pickleball courts, scenic lakes, open green space, a playground, Wentzville schools, quick access to highways. It's McKelvey Homes. It's what they do. Check them out online, McKelveyHomes.com. McKelveyHomes.com. and move up to McKelvey.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Closeout season is heating up at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners with sizzling hot summer savings on John Deere compact tractor packages. For a limited time, get $6,600 off the S&P price on a John Deere 5050E with a loader, plus 0% financing with 0 down. Find compact tractor package savings at snpartners.com. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/31/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Let's see how things are moving on the roads. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, drivers are still seeing delays southbound on Highway 55 through the road construction zone south of Highway Z headed towards McNutt. There was an earlier incident at McNutt that looks like they've gotten out of the way, but I'm still seeing those delays through that stretch there. It looks like they're coming out of that road construction zone where the lane splits and it gets very tight south of there. So that's what's causing those delays on southbound 55. Northbound on Highway 270, pockets of volume remain just north of Big Bend, Doherty Ferry through Manchester. You're busy eastbound on Highway 64, east of Lindbergh up to about Hanley. Southbound 170 thinning out headed towards Highway 64. That's the good news. We've been delay free all morning long headed into downtown St. Louis, westbound 5564, westbound Highway 70 crossing the Musial. Our next traffic update at 8:40. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Capital One.
Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts, and Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, mostly sunny skies today, a high of 90. Clear, warm, and humid tonight with a low of 74. We have sunshine, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. Foreign policy experts say it's like we're back to square one now that the ceasefire with Tehran has been declared over. President Trump is vowing to have the situation under control quickly, touting a naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz resuming today. ABC News spoke to Javed Ali, a former senior director for counterterrorism on the National Security Council.
It seems like we're almost back to where things were on February 28th to the middle of April, when every day both Iran and the United States and back then Israel were conducting hundreds of strikes against each other. And I think what we're seeing now, this is a battle of wills, months into that post-February 28th opening salvos.
Ali says in order to be what the president calls the guardian of the strait, U.S. warships would have to actually enter the strait.
There would be a significant risk to those U.S. ships that are now coming more directly into the line of fire of Iranian drones and cruise missiles and other types of weapon system, attack boats and mines. So this is the thing that the Trump administration is going to have to think carefully through if this is an accurate reflection of where the president wants to take the policy.
The end of the ceasefire with Iran rattles the global economy, sending oil prices soaring. ABC's Karen Waugh in Washington.
The markets are reacting to the uncertainty. Oil prices just saw the biggest one-day jump since the pandemic. And analysts predict average gas prices in the U.S. will once again top $4 per gallon within a week.
AAA reporting gasoline prices up slightly in Missouri today. It's now 8:34. Your Money Report is next.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the gallery showcases stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
You take care of your dog out of love and responsibility. But what if every scoop that you're feeding them is slowly making them sicker? Not because you're a bad pet owner, but because the pet food industry never told you the truth. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon #1 best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. Dog food is dead food, stripped of every live nutrient that your dog needs. That's where Rough Greens comes in. Just sprinkle it on top of whatever you're already feeding them. It's packed with live probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and over 20 live vitamins and minerals, all natural and made in the USA. Thousands of dog owners are watching their pets transform. More energy, shinier coat, better mobility, and your dog could be next. Take the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. Give us 90 days and we'll give you a healthier dog, guaranteed. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code USA. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code USA. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Home prices in the U.S. are at an all-time high. According to Redfin, prices rose 2.2% in June from a year ago to a record of close to $409,000 nationwide. The real estate market has gotten a bit more competitive due to the steady labor market. More than 1 in 5 homes that sold in June went for more than their original list price. This morning, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve as Kevin Warsh is about to make his first appearance before Congress as chair. He testifies before the House today and the Senate tomorrow. And the iconic British heavy metal band Iron Maiden has sold a stake in its music rights for an undisclosed amount. The 50-50 partnership with Swedish music investment firm Pophouse Entertainment Group will involve projects such as a museum experience. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's time to check out the exterior of your home. Tom Ackerman with you. Siding and windows, 2 things that can make your home look like the best home in the neighborhood. It just makes a huge difference. And the best in the business is Banner Construction. Since 1993, they have been the best when it comes to Pella windows. They're a Pella window specialist. They're a preferred James Hardie contractor. They are Banner Construction. You don't want to go with a company that doesn't entirely know what it's doing or tries to cut corners or hasn't been around for a very long time. 1993 is when they started, so over 30 years of excellence. Go online and see for yourself all the great examples at bannerconstruction.com. Banner Construction will come over to your home. They'll give you a free in-home consultation. You're going to love their team. I really appreciate Banner Construction and what they do here in St. Louis. Visit them online, bannerconstruction.com, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Inflation fell more than expected in June as gas prices eased. Supreme Court Justices Elena Kagan and Amy Coney Barrett set to appear before Congress. They're seeking millions of dollars to enhance security amid rising threats to the judiciary. And New York will block new large data centers that fuel artificial intelligence for up to a year to protect the environment and the energy grid. Let's check back in with Frank Ladd. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look, Frank?
We are really thinning out, Megan. So that's the good news for most people out there. Headed westbound on Highway 64, passing Forest Park. We are essentially delay-free now. Eastbound on Highway 64, thinning out as well through that central corridor from Spady, headed up towards McKnight. It's getting better through that stretch. Northbound on Highway 270, just an off-the-pace pocket now north of Doherty Ferry up to about Manchester Road. We've been delay-free all morning long, eastbound Highway 64 and eastbound Highway 70, coming in from St. Charles County to St. Louis County, and thinning out headed down south on Highway 55. The earlier slowdown south of Highway Z is long gone. I'm Frank Ladd with traffic from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Checking that forecast for today, we're expecting mostly sunny skies with a high of 90, clear, warm, and humid tonight, an overnight low of 74. And then tomorrow, starting with sunshine, we'll see some clouds later on in the day, and it will be hot and humid, a high of 92. We have sunshine, 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. As the Career Accelerator Rung for Women welcomes its next cohort, participants are facing a shifting job market. In studio with me this morning is Leslie Gill, President and CEO of Rung. Leslie, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
For folks who may not be familiar, what is Rung for Women?
So Rung for Women is a career accelerator for women in St. Louis. We help women climb up the rungs of the economic opportunity ladder, really moving into jobs that have been historically held by men and fields where women have been historically underrepresented. And so we are providing training and coaching and acceleration into those new career fields like project management, technology, manufacturing, and other a variety of other spaces. But those are the key kind of areas of training that we provide.
Since Rung was launched, how many women have you worked with now?
Oh, my gosh. So we actually opened our doors in March of 2021. So we're approaching our 5th anniversary of actually serving women. I actually started in 2017, so it's hard to believe that it's almost 10 years. And we've worked with over 700 women who are now part of our alumni network, seeing really good outcomes. We've shifted to really respond to employer demand over the years. And so, you know, when we first launched our first cohort in March of 2021, we're like, oh, come be all things to all people. And, you know, if you're an artist, become an astronaut, right? And so then we quickly learned that that was not sustainable. And now we're really training women for the jobs that are relevant now and are nimble enough to shift as there are new opportunities coming into the marketplace.
Well, and we are seeing some shifts right now. I know there are fewer hirings right now. There are some shifts in technology, AI, namely. Yep. What are you seeing, and what kind of challenge does this pose for the women who have come through your program and frankly, anyone in our community?
Absolutely. I would say that, you know, we are seeing a significant impact on women in the job market, shifts in the federal government, obviously, the adoption of AI starting to really impact really entry-level jobs that we're seeing. So, you know, management, middle management, those with experience are still surviving kind of this AI influx, but we're still helping women train to be resilient, even with AI coming into the workplace. So, you know, we're helping women think about how they adopt AI, the ethics of AI, so that they can be more career resilient in their current roles. And so I'm really excited about what's to come in that area for us in 2027. And we're seeing that employers are hiring fewer people. And so I get to see the continuum of everything from, you know, recent college grads from graduate school, MBA school at WashU, who are having difficulty finding jobs, all the way through our members who, you know, there are just fewer opportunities out there. But that is not stopping us, Megan. We are really pushing forward, talking to employers about what their true needs are and making sure that women can meet those needs and are solid candidates when they apply. And so I'm really excited to see some of the growth of our members. Average salary increases about $25,000 upon completion of our program.
That's incredible.
Incredible. I love to tell the story of one of our members who's a mother of 10 and has been working in the service industry most of her career in hotels, started in housekeeping, and is now the assistant general manager of a local hotel.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so she really credits her growth and confidence to our program. And so I'm really happy for her. We have another member who, at 56 years old, had been working multiple part-time jobs in retail on her feet 12 hours a day, but had a background in graphic design that she had just not kept relevant. And so she went through our digital marketing program, was successful, but tried to talk herself out of the success all along the way. And today she is making $47,000 more than what she was when she started at Rung.
That's
so,
incredible.
we're seeing, even in spite of this current sort of economy, right, we are seeing women grow and thrive and pivot in ways that I could have never imagined. So I'm really excited about our future as an organization. We're getting ready to welcome our 11th cohort. Hard to believe that we've been at this thing for all of these years, but lucky number 11, starting in the fall. Applications are open through July 20th.
So that's coming up soon.
That's coming up soon. So I encourage anyone who's interested in, changing their life, pivoting to a new career, living the life that they dreamed of and want to be fulfilled in, to apply. July 20th is the deadline, and I guarantee that you will be better a year from now than you are today.
How much of this and surviving these swings in the economy comes down to soft skills, not necessarily those technical certifications?
I firmly believe that is our secret sauce. As an organization, we really, really hone in on building confidence, building executive functioning skills, helping women overcome imposter syndrome, having them see themselves as the person they want to become. And so our coaching program is really unique in that our members work with both a career development coach. So that's the person who really helps them think about, what do I want to be when I grow up? How am I going to get there? What's getting in my way? And then their career attainment coach works with them as they're doing their job search. And so a full suite of coaching services at Rung for Women, where we really help women get out of their own way. I mean, that's often the biggest barrier, if I'm being honest. It's not what they don't know or what they can't do, is that they're in those self-limiting thoughts get in their way of success. And so, I really think that's unique to women, because men will just go for it. And women are like, oh, I don't meet all 10 requirements. And so we talk ourselves out of success. And really what Rung for Women does is helps women see themselves in those roles, overcome those self-limiting thoughts, and work through imposter syndrome.
Leslie, if someone's hearing this and they know someone who might be a good fit for this, how do they find you?
Best way to find us is through our website, Rung, RUNG4FORwomen.org, or stop by our campus, 2717 Sydney Street. We're in the heart of the city of St. Louis in the Fox Park neighborhood, right off Jefferson. So we're easy to find. Applications are open until July 20th. Looking forward to another awesome cohort 11, starting in the fall. And really just, interested in helping more women grow and thrive, both personally and professionally.
Leslie, thanks so much for coming in this morning.
Of course.
That is Leslie Gill. She is CEO and president of Rung for Women, joining us this morning here on KMOX. Coming up next, the sauerkraut diet. What's it all about, and is it really good for you?
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Considering buying or selling a home? When it comes to the Gelman team with eXp Realty, numbers don't lie. Over 1,500 Google and Zillow 5-star reviews, nearly 6,000 homes, and $2.5 billion in real estate sold. Call 314-336-1991, thegelmanteam.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up.
which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm Megan Lynch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I've noticed that a lot of people in the Trump administration are eating sauerkraut. U.S. Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. claims that he lost 20 pounds on what he calls the sauerkraut diet. Now, I think it was mostly sauerkraut and protein. Let's find out more about this, the idea behind it, and whether it's good or bad for us. Michelle Wilson is a registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition, and she joins me in studio this morning. What do you think about this?
I think it is an excellent conversation starter.
Okay, great.
There's definitely a lot behind the benefits of sauerkraut. I'm a huge fan of food versions of probiotics, and I think that that's going to be the main benefit that we see from sauerkraut and other fermented foods. So I think that that can be a great addition. However, like, what are we doing with the rest of our day, and how often are we trying to have something that we may or may not even enjoy? So there's a few different caveats.
So talk to us about probiotics and what in sauerkraut or other fermented foods constitute it being a probiotic. What's it do in our body?
So probiotics are live active cultures. So we have these bacteria that help us break things down in our gut, and we can get those from fermented foods that have this good bacteria in them. So the main one that people might know of related to having live active cultures would be yogurt. So that can be something that you can see on the label, can really help replenish gut bacteria. So if you've had rounds of antibiotics that wipe out all of your gut bacteria, typically the recommendation would be incorporation of yogurt, but we can incorporate any sort of fermented foods, and sauerkraut could be one of them. But there are several others as well. We have miso and kimchi and pickles, and even sourdough has a little bit of those live active cultures in them.
Now, do we have to be careful, like, going into this whole hog at first? Do we, when we start adding fermented foods, do we have to do it gradually?
Oh, absolutely. So we definitely want to see how our body reacts. There can be a lot of things with introducing new foods. And also it's important if it's enjoyable for you, but there can be a little bit more of like gas that can happen from fermented foods, but also from cabbage, and sauerkraut is going to have a little bit of those components. But also if you're incorporating more fiber, and sauerkraut's going to have fiber. So anytime we're introducing new foods, you definitely don't want to go really, really intense with a new food, because we don't know how our body is going to naturally react to that. But also as our gut bacteria is changing, then, you know, we can have some GI distress as we adapt. So we need to give our body a little bit of time to adapt. But also, I'm not sure if I would entirely want to eat any one thing over and over again with any meal. For one, it would be kind of boring, but for two, it's good to have nutrient variety. So if you're only getting, you know, sauerkraut as your addition, then that might be taken away from other things that you might be enjoying in the meal.
Now, when it comes to the fermentation process, does that still preserve many of the nutrients of these vegetables?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So whenever you're fermenting, then that's going to reduce down like the decaying in other ways. So like it's going to preserve things for a longer time. So things like sauerkraut or kimchi can really last a lot longer. So anything that's going to preserve the longevity of the produce or the products is going to help those nutrients stay viable longer.
Now, do you have any concerns with someone, for example, doing just sauerkraut and a protein?
Yes, absolutely. So sauerkraut and a protein, that's going to be missing a lot of our main carbs and fats. And then, as I've said before, fat-soluble vitamins can't be absorbed. So vitamins A, D, E, and K are not as bioavailable if you're not getting enough fat intake to absorb those things. But also, it's just having, you know, that good variety to allow us to feel full and satisfied as well. So if you're just eating protein and sauerkraut, it's probably not going to be very filling and satisfying because of not only the macronutrients be missing from there, so those main the starches and fats that could be missing, but also the micronutrient variation of having more things than just sauerkraut to have.
And is it dangerous whenever you would lose 20 pounds rapidly with something like this?
Absolutely. So in any sort of diet where you're not getting in enough calories, enough energy or fuel for your body, that's going to cause a major deficit like this is going to lead to weight loss. And if it's rapid weight loss, then you are much more likely to have muscle wasting. You're much more likely to even have fat wasting in a negative way. Like if you're going to want to have intentional weight loss, which I'm not a huge fan of, but because I'm a health at every size and intuitive eating provider, if you are going to do intentional weight loss, slow and steady wins the race, right? If you want to do that, you don't want to do it in a way that can cause muscle wasting, and muscle wasting can even cause heart damage. So you don't want to do things like that too quickly because you can have a lot of issues with your health.
So really, it sounds like the better benefit might be to incorporate this into your diet for better gut health then.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of what to add versus what to take away. There's no issue with adding sauerkraut if you find it to be enjoyable and if you don't have mold allergies or something else that
like I do, yeah.
Something else that might cause you to have an intolerance or it to not settle well in your system. But it's definitely a concerning thing to only have those.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
That is Michelle Wilson, registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition, joining us this morning here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Lenseek.
A critical shortage of